Okay, so I'm going to read you a little quote. This was from an announcement that went out last week, and it was talking about you guys, you and Elias. One indelible lesson from David and Elias is the philosophy of servant leadership. Servant leadership focuses managers on serving their team, not the other way around. And sometimes that means helping solidify a vision, but more often it means empowering people and teams with an uncomfortable level of ownership. So today on Seeking Wisdom, we're going to talk about servant leadership.
Wow, I can't believe we haven't talked about this.
I can't believe it, yeah.
What do you know about servant leadership?
Oh, what do I know about servant leadership? I didn't know, I always knew what it was, but I didn't know the name. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it had a name.
Yes.
And to me, servant leadership has been like leading by example. That's always been a thing that I've tried to think about, is leading by example. Those are people that I respect. And Those are people that do things. But then once I've been here 2 years now, and when I got connected with you guys, I started to see the true meaning of servant leadership, which is everything from cleaning up like after somebody, to buying donuts, to I don't know, whatever the small examples are. Servant leadership is basically a way to set the tone for everybody else. Yep. And if you want to lead, first you have to serve.
I love that. If you want to lead, first you have to serve. So I kind of stumbled upon the idea of servant leadership many years ago. Probably, I don't remember what year it was, early 2000s, let's say, when I read for the first time one of my favorite books, Sam Walton, Made in America.
That's 3 times in 24 hours you've mentioned that book.
People don't know.
How much does it cost?
$5.
Oh.
Okay.
But it's too expensive.
Okay. He was the richest man in the world. He wrote that book on his deathbed.
The richest man in the world wrote a book, and it cost $5.
But everyone wants to learn, but no one has time to read that book.
You could go keep reading BuzzFeed anyway.
Okay, yeah, or BuzzFeed. Anyway, in that book, the first time I read it, he talked about the notion of servant leadership, and that he was there to serve the associates at Walmart, right, which was his company, and that's how he viewed things, right? He had this kind of humble approach where humble beyond any of us, right? Was a billionaire, drove an old pickup truck with dogs and chickens in the back, and was there, sweeping up and taking care of those stores, and that was his approach. And there was something that spoke to me about that, but I put it to the side. I did what all of us do, followed conventional wisdom, went the opposite of servant leadership, and did that for a number of years. And then it was years later that I came back to revisit that topic.
I love, you just said conventional wisdom, and I was listening to the podcast we did with Pat Grady, because I do listen to every Seeking Wisdom episode.
He had a great quote in there.
Reps and sets. 3 minutes in, he said, if you follow conventional wisdom, you'll end up with a conventional company. And I was like, wow.
And that's true in all areas of life. Yeah. If you follow conventional wisdom in finances, you'll be broke. If you follow conventional wisdom in health, you'll be sick. And if you follow it in building companies, you'll build a mediocre company. So I followed conventional wisdom, led to mediocre results. Then I came back to read, and I didn't like the results. And so I thought there had to be a different way. And somehow I think I reread that book, and that really stood out to me, the idea. So typically in kind of management theory, there's this pyramid, right? And at the base of the pyramid, so think about a pyramid, at the base, which is the largest part, obviously, of a pyramid, those are the individual contributors. And then as you go up in title, you start to go up to, then you go to managers, directors, VPs, CEO, right? And that's the top of the pyramid, right? And what happens in most companies is that's how they're run. And most people want to move from the bottom of the pyramid, the mass of many, and they want to go up and be as close to the top of that pyramid. And why is that? Because the rewards and the decision-making happens that way. And then servant leadership takes that paradigm, and my version of it flips the pyramid upside down. And so at the top of the pyramid is the widest part, right? And at the top of the pyramid, in my version, are the customers, are the first thing, right? So they are the most important thing. And then in the second tier are the individual contributors, and then you keep going down until eventually you get to the CEO, right? And what that does is it gives everyone a visual paradigm for understanding who is here to serve who. And the idea is that the higher your title is, the more your job is to support those above you. And ultimately, the person that is at the very top are the customers.